All right, family. Good morning. Good morning. April 1st. April 1st. Tuesday, April 1st, right? Welcome into the month of April as we march ever along in spring, family, right? We hope y'all are having a powerful, impactful, awesome morning this morning, right? That you will have a powerful, awesome, impactful, blessed day. This whole day, right? This month. This is what we're about, man. Talking life, talking positivity, health, wealth, spirit, soul, and body, right? Over us. That's what it takes, family. That's what it takes. A whole lot of negative around each other, family. And in order to get around that, right? The choices we make, the choices we make, the choices we make. So we choose here to speak life over each other, y'all, right? This is what we choose. So, family, welcome in us who are the 1100 plus strong, excuse me, ever rising, who believe in, who love, who seek after, who hunger and thirst for that which is a different view. Family, welcome in. Normally a lot of people do this. I try to get away from this because you want the word to get out, and at the same time you don't want to become carny. You don't want to become like a carnival ringmaster kind of. Welcome, boys and girls, to Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey Circus. You know, I don't. That's not the vibe what it is. But again, we do this. We sometimes we will take the time to do this just to bring notoriety to where people can find the podcast, because we've had this question a lot, right? So it's important that we say where the podcast is clearly. Okay, we want people to know. You can find a different view here on Spotify. We got a bunch of episodes at this point on a multitude of different topics, using both history and the Bible. Your boy's Christian, right? Not ashamed to say it. We're not ashamed to say it, though I do not act like some of my other Christian brothers and sisters. There's certain things that I don't believe as they do. However, still Christian just the same. Okay, we don't get into this kind of we're using OG Christian and I'm a this and listen, the greatest of all and all that kind of thing. You serve. There's no God ain't looking at it like that, man. That's not what the game is. Okay, and we got caught off on that listening to Massa and not listening to the Master. Okay, that's why we say that like this on this podcast, and that goes for a lot of stuff. Whether you're talking again, as we have spoken, just to reiterate, because repetition is necessary for learning, in the different activities of people's involvement in life, right? People activity. We learn from Massa about economics, not the Master. Education, entertainment, labor, how you work. You learn that from Massa, not the Master. You do not work your finger to the bone all day long. That's not how God does that. You know, and it's funny that economics there at number one and labor's right there, right? Because again, the two affect each other. Again, we've gone over verses here where the thing is supposed to profit you. Again, we haven't gotten yet into this whole thing about giving you power to get wealth. But then again, let's see if we can, as we go along here, law is number 5. Again, you learn law, man. Everything you looking at, this is coming from Massa. This is not how we really deal with each other. Justice, the justice system, where you can snitch on somebody and get out, huh? Look. We're not saying that you're not supposed to tell your parents raised you that you're supposed to tell where wrong is, okay? But it's too twisted. It's too twisted, and by too twisted, I mean it's way out of balance. Funny how law is right before politics. Again, the word politic just means to talk about things, city and state. This ain't no spooky. Don't make it spooky. Go back to the definitions of these words they're giving you, y'all. Okay? Go back to the base words, where they coming from, all of this, because this is how the game is being played on, folk. All peoples, by the way. Yeah, there's something that's getting more of the, there's another way I could say it, but there's something that's getting the nut kicking. We'll say it that way, more than others, right? For sure. It's obvious. You can see it. But it's not just that one group of people. It's a bunch of folks in there, man, that Massa got them in a good soup. That's where you get melting pot from. That's some of the thought process behind that. Because again, you got some main elements in that pot, but it ain't. Anyway. Religion, again, belief and an organized thing around belief, because that's what religion is. Now, I know we like to do this dance and try to play around. We're talking the definition, the etymology of the word is the organization around what you believe. Sex, absolutely. We're looking at Massa's definition of sex. And we avoid the master's definition of sex. When I'm telling y'all this is not off the same trope that you have heard from Christians from time immemorial, okay? Yeah, it looked different. Yes, we do not objectify the woman. And yes, it's more like you should look toward those who are spiritual. We're not talking about the ritual part of this, but we're talking about that which deals in laws and stuff that does not come of this earth. Now, I understand in talking spiritual now, it's getting a little bit spooky, right? And people getting a little, sometimes you get the hair up on the back of your neck. But family, you got to realize, right, what we operating in, man, goodness, kindness, love, justice, peace, all these kinds of things, man. This is not necessarily, right, like planet originated. This is more, man, I don't like saying a supernatural thing, but it's got something else to it. Love, that's the entity, the energy, the power that is love, man, that's been given in this earth, where you can thereby, hop in front of a bullet when people are getting shot at. How many different times have we seen stuff like that, man, right? Again, like the verse tells you, no greater love than for someone to lay down their life for a friend, man. What is that pushes a person that far, right? And lay down your life is something it's got multiple meaning to it, not just like actually you died, right? This is this primary context and secondary. Again, we gotta look past just, oh, yep, I saw it. Okay, that's it. There's more to that than this, right? War. Number 9 is war. We learn from Massa. Now, war is confusion, by the way. That's what the etymology of the word is. Again, the base definition of these words, man. We kind of get it. We kind of get it. So everybody goes to, no, it's about battle, KJ. Come on, don't you see it? It's right there. No. We get the battle part. That's obvious, okay? We want the thing of which this is substantiated upon. What makes it. What drives it. And in its base definition is confusion. You're confused when you're going against your own brother and sister. The Middle East right now is confused because they're not supposed to be fighting. They're supposed to be doing what's necessary to live in peace. That's the law given to us by the Maker, y'all. Of course, you can choose to do the other way because you've been given choice to choose. That's fair. But within that is the pre-designed thing that if you decide to pick up that gun, not to defend yourself, but to start terrorizing your neighborhood, man, there's already certain prowoven consequences for that. I'm just saying what it is. So you can't go blaming the man, black man and woman, more or less the black man. Black woman's really not doing all this. I mean, they get involved in criminal activity. Don't get me wrong. The lady we just hopped off of, we're in April now. We're going to talk about the month of April here. We just wanted to hop on here real quick, put this out in the air. There's this idea here where the black woman's not the one sitting there with the gun while they got guns. They ain't the one sitting there shooting up the hood and, shooting up other people's hoods and stuff, other people's neighborhoods and stuff. We're just using hood as a term there. That's the black man doing that mess. I was a black man, went up in that HBCU down in Alabama, shot it up. That was a man at that country festival a couple of years ago shooting up them people. Come on, somebody. See, again, God has not given us a spirit of fear, power, or ability. That's what the word power means. Love. Again, when you go into love, many times in the King James Version, again, we go back to the scene of the crime, which is the King James Version. Love is dealing with charity. Charity is dealing with the involuntary action. Or, excuse me, not involuntary, the voluntary action. You put yourself in a place of being good to people. That's love at work, man. And too many people selfish today to extend their hand. They are. We're going to read you some verse here. We had mentioned last time we were going to talk about, we had read Luke 12, if you remember, for those who were following on last time, where Jesus is talking about, let me see, just to bring it up here because I had it here, that innumerable amount of people, and we were talking about how folks were getting trampled on, because that's the way the verse says it, almost like people getting trampled on like Black Friday at Walmart, right? Or whatever retail store you go to, okay? Family business, by the way, if I could stop and pivot and just say this real quick. Family business, they tell you not to get involved with your family with business, but every successful family on this planet, when you think about it, family, it's all business. It's all family business. Anheuser-Busch, family business. Puff Daddy, Sean Combs got himself messed up with Ciroc. It's a family business. Right? Just think about it. Dwayne Johnson made some tequila. Right? He got his own thing. The Rock got his own thing, right? It's a family business. Ford, family business. There's so many family businesses out here, y'all. Kardashians is a family business. Yeah, I know. Y'all want to get mad because the girls show the butt on TV. Again, y'all, sex sells. The problem we're doing is we're objectifying the woman. Models and stuff like that, you modeling clothes and all that kind of thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Again, there's a thing where you can go too far with a thing, of course. But ain't nothing wrong with that, y'all. Come on. No, maybe we need to rethink. I'm telling you about business. Now, again, we just what did we just read to y'all now? Labor, right? That's part of family business. You got to work on that thing, right? Now, nobody's saying it's got to be crazy, but there's some work you got to put into it. Again, God worked 6 days and then rested on the seventh, right? Now, that's not saying a model for us to work 6 days, but we're talking about you got to put in some work, family. And you also have to learn to rest, which is where we're going to get into now with April. April. Let's just leave all that alone. Because we just talking, family. We're just having a conversation, man. We're just having a conversation. More of us need to just converse with each other, man. Just chat. Man got us on so much stuff, y'all. It's just time to just chat for a minute. So, the month of April. Here's some of the things that are highlighted this month, family, right? Of course, today, April Fool's Day. Y'all be careful doing a lot of this again. April Fool. Let me see. I got it pulled up here. April Fool's Day. Again, I'm not doing no deep dive. We just okay. They don't have too much of an origin really with this. Of course, over in England, jolly old England is the origin place where this mess comes from. And again, it's just dealing on pranking in people, operating in foolishness. Again, just like as the word says, which we have established on this podcast, that fool by the definition, right? We're not talking about making fun of nobody. Fool is dealing with deceit, trickery. That's the verb when you say you are fooling someone. So that's what people are going to be operating in today. A whole lot of pranks and tricks. And you be careful now. We re-reference what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. No, there is a term in amongst black folk that is a very real thing that was brought out during the black movement and such, which back in the 60s and 70s, which is no contact, no conflict. Right? Again, you got a lot of folks with a lot of poison on their mind, family. They got a lot of hurt. They got a lot of stuff going on. We learned listening to Massa and not listening to the master, and then not caring about people anymore, right? The love of the great body of people waxing cold. We put it on ice, right? So now when you do stuff to folks, what you then do in return to back up the foolishness you're doing when they don't receive you well, off your foolishness you're doing, is, oh, they don't know how to take a joke and they need to be less serious. Listen, it is not up to you, right? There's another one of these deals that come out the black community. It's a lot of truth, man. A lot of truth, right? And I'm sure not the only community, okay? But we're just highlighting this one here, okay? Lord, man, people can't do specific and general speech. That's another one of them things, Massa. Let me see. Wait. Which one would that apply into? Politics, education. Education is because in education you learn about linguistics. But they ain't teaching you that. They ain't teaching you about how people speak and all this kind of stuff, how people act. It's the education, educating yourself about how people will respond to things. But when you sit in the seat of the scornful, you don't give a damn about that. It's just about you doing your joke. You don't care about whether a person gonna receive it well. It's just this is my right. It's my right to say what I want to say, and blah 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 blah. You just gonna have to deal with it. You know, okay, okay. And it don't work that way. So again, on April Fool's Day, it's cool to have jokes and me, but be careful in the context in which we do it, right, family? So of course, April Fool's Day is that's this today, right? Tomorrow, because it's National Walking Day. So everything in April is dealing with getting active, family, right? Of course, it's getting sunny out. It's getting warmer in certain places. Still cold in some others, right? Especially up north. Hard to shake off the winter blues, or they call it the winter blues. Hard to shake off the winter cool. I'll say it that way, right? So you get some days it takes some time to kick in, right? That's the nature of nature. Okay, that's the nature of the weather. Everybody get ham about, oh my gosh, man, it's still raining. It's still cold. Listen. Spring hits March 21st, the spring equinox, right? The earth aligning as itself as far as the sun and all that kind of thing, the blessed event that it is, right? For each one of the seasons, of course, right? Everything don't snap right into place. I know Massa got you on that real quick because you snap right in line to go to work for him. We can't, this comes to us all. This is me, you, this comes to us all. We ain't going. I'm done on this. Like we down talking to people. This is as a team, man. If we can't do that, then this is why you see we can't do that. So Wednesday, the first Wednesday of April, is National Walking Day. To get out there and walk, family. Right? You see some people because of the gas prices, they'll take their motorcycle everywhere. Which we dig it. You know, if it's whatever less in your pocket, man, because they playing games. So whatever's less in your pocket, man, hey. You do what you got to do, man. You do what you got to do to strengthen the money in your pocket, not theirs, right? That's how this works. When you start hearing all these articles about who not spending more money and the consumer pricing, the consumer buying went down. Listen. Don't even trip on that. At the end of the day, they're just telling you about how badly they're being hurt in their pocket. Okay, but again, you'll see things escalate the more that continues as we continue the trend of making sure our pocketbook is good. Okay, we so worried about, well, if nobody spends, KJ, then we won't have these stores to go to. And this again, when we dealing, I heard a message on comfortable, right, yesterday, and the reason why it bothers me from a mental standpoint, of course, also from a very spiritual standpoint, is this idea God don't want you comfortable. What are we saying, y'all? Can we qualify what we're saying? So, and then this ties in with what we're talking about on stores and stuff. So when life break down, when wars come out, when all this stuff happens, y'all, there's less places to get stuff, right? When the tragedy hits, are we ready, family? Again, we are talking about National Walking Day. We had spoken a while ago, a couple episodes. If war was to break out and we had to run away from like the unfortunate tragedy that happened in New York, right? That me and my family, my mom, we all had to witness that mess, right? Back in 2001, okay? Which I'm not getting into the backdrop of it. We're just saying this from this standpoint. All that's happening, debris is falling, all these kinds of things. Can we run quick enough and long enough to get away from something? This is unfortunate reality that our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters got to deal with every day. Our Eastern brothers, our European brothers and sisters in the East, Ukraine and Russia, this is what they got to deal with, right? Calamity happens. We couldn't run a good city block, fam. Man, we couldn't walk the good city block. That's how overweight we are. Again, we had already talked about me on the live before people get in there. The defenses and excuses we come up with is crazy, family. It's wild, man. We will make excuses to make sure we stay right here. But again, as being a Christian, you've already seen it. You see it in scripture. Anybody who believes anything, really, you already seen in holy books. The backdrop of this is that people want to be like this, right? The Jews wanted to go back to Israel. They didn't want to form Israel, is really what it was. They wanted to stay in Egypt under Massa. When the plantation thing finally died off, slavery was done, quote unquote, from a legal sense, right? Slaves wanted to stay on the plantation with Massa. This is historical record, y'all. What? Again, it's in people. They want to be next to Master. They don't, bro. They don't. They don't want freedom. They want a feudal way of life. So that's another one of the things. Tomorrow will be it's always the first Wednesday there. So tomorrow will be National Walking Day. Get out and walk, y'all. April is also National Minority Health Month. And your boy gonna get on this one. So my apologies if we go a little long today, family, but this is for real, for real. This is for real, y'all. This is where it's at, man. Hey, National Minority Health Month. You already know the blood pressure's an issue. You know your blood sugar's an issue, right? Some of that stuff just comes from overeating, but it is a thing. And again, this is a word to me just as anybody else. Okay, we got to hold each other accountable, y'all. Come around each other. Excuse me. This ain't about making fun of each other. This ain't about none of that, man. Drop all that mess. This is about coming together, holding each other accountable. You don't have to do the gym thing always. You got your natural body, man. God put it there, right? Take the cue from more Rocky IV type stuff. Your own natural body. Get out there and walk. Do a little bit of jogging. You know, nothing to hurt yourself. You got to work it up in stages. All right, family? We ain't trying to hurt ourselves. We got other things we got to do. Kids to pick up from school, husbands and wives to attend to, partners to attend to, right? For our homosexual brothers and sisters out there, right? We got stuff we got to do, family. So it ain't about getting hurt while we're exercising, but it's about being healthy. It's about being healthy, right? And there's homosexual folks in the minorities, or what they call a minority. Again, when you look around the planet, man, what the governments of the world is calling minorities so they can continue to steal from you, it's not actually the minority. Do you know how many dark skin tone folks there are all across this planet? Australia, India, Africa, right? Asia. We'll leave Europe alone just for the fun of it. Okay. The Americas. Look how much of the planet I've already said, y'all. Right? If I missed Asia, say it again, Asia. I don't think I did. Right? Asia. All over the planet, y'all. Dark, tan skin tone folks. Minority. You know where the minority is? In your mind. That's where you're a minority. But again, as an awesome phrase I heard, which is so true, man. All is the mind and the universe is mental. It's up in your head. Yeah, there's a lot of things here on this planet. And of course, Kanye came out and said that slavery had something to do with some mental bondage. Nah, that was real. Those plantations were real. These boarding houses that our native brothers and sisters in, which was just as much slavery, is real, was real. And only because they stayed together, our native brothers and sisters, so much, they were able to keep their culture. And as those came back into the fold, it was such a powerful scene when you watch Anne with an E, because they show this type of mess, right? Catholic brothers and sisters preaching the good news to our native brothers and sisters, right? And they don't repent from it. They give a cute apology like Brother Marvin Sapp here. That's what they do. That's what they do. Hey, don't get mad at me for saying what's happened already and what shows. Won't lift a finger for your quote unquote minority brother and sister. Never mind, right? Minority health. You got to watch out for your health, man. Okay. The fried foods. I know Massa gave us that mess. That is not healthy. While they were sitting there eating chicken breast, the white meat, the healthier meat of the chicken, they left you the leg and they left you the thigh. They left you the wing. They left you the feet. I said they left you this mess. Yes, did we make such beautiful dishes out of it, family? Tasty dishes from it, of course. But in its origin, from its fundamental state, the man made sure, with the knowledge of the chicken. There's another term out there that is used for the white man in black circles. Y'all gonna have to square away with it. It's the scientific deceiver. Because you're using the study of things, the blessed ability in the mind to study things, to hurt people, to take from them, to twist up their birthright, just like Jacob and Esau. That we sit there and we defend that like Jacob was on some high holy type stuff. No, God wants you to tie off this thought. God wants you in comfort, family. Okay, this ain't about being. This ain't about being. Suffering is making you. Just stop all that. Again, do you? Is Scripture telling you? Hey, it's cool to be. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations. Yeah, because that something good is coming out of it, and something good would be the trying of what you believe, right? By which you can be more perfected. So it's cool when you go through things like, hey, we're going to be all right. But this kind of idea, like, I'm trying to look for all the places to go through pain. What are you talking about? I'm just looking for the next, I'm looking for the next jackass to get into a car accident with me. I'm looking for the next pain ailment I get in my body. See, again, you got to qualify what you're saying. Okay. We got to qualify what we're saying here. Yes, as we band together as people, as family, we can get through all the problems in life, man. Because again, it's up in here how we're thinking about. Again, as a man thinks, so as a person thinks about a thing, so are they. That's a real element of life. But this idea where you're supposed to be storm chasers, like you pain and trial and tribulation chasers, man. What are we? Come on. Come on, man. Comfort, bro. Comfort. What does the word comfort mean? As a verb, easing grief and distress, bro. No. We ain't out here like God love you in your pain. Yeah, God loves me in my pain and in or let me say it this way, since it says ease here in this definition. He loves me in my ease and my dis-ease. But you see, the reason that the preacher talks this way, I got to keep saying it, right? It hurts a little bit to say it, but we got to say what we got to say. Same thing like when I talk about black folk. Same thing, man. Brothers got to stop impregnating the women. You telling me the only way you can have sex? Again, we said sex was one of those things on this list. This is something that bucks the mind of the Christian because we're talking abstinence and we understand that. Listen, God ain't wrong in that. Stay away from a lot of, but everybody ain't going to do it. So what about them, y'all? There's no healthy ways of doing it. Here is one of them. If you're going to have sex with these women, could we stop impregnating them, please? You ain't going to hang around after that night's over. When they say wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, they wasn't lying, okay? Which most folks don't even thank the woman afterwards. Y'all come on. They don't thank the woman afterwards, bro. They just, treat them like toilet paper after you're done using it. That's wild, man. We using it wrong. We using the venue of sex wrong, y'all. Again, off some mess Massa told you, not the master. No, we ain't chasing after no pain and This is why people, again, another reason why ain't nobody going to no church after some schizophrenic God like that, man. Never mind. Let's get on back into April here. Finish up, y'all. So that's National Minority Month. I just got on that first topic. Sheesh. Stress Awareness Month. Do we even have to go any further, family? Do we have to go any further than what that's saying? Yo, man, watch the stress in your life, man. See, again, we think that the more of this mess we got on us, the better we doing in life. No, I ain't got to take up all the stuff everybody doing. It's about living in peace. If I can't live in peace and a little bit less stress, okay, then what the hell are we doing, family? All right, we'll just leave that alone. National Pet Month. Okay, love the animal out here, man. You got these pets in your life: fish, birds, cats, dogs. I don't know, gerbils, right? Chinchillas. Whatever people got as a pet, man. Love your pets. Learn about them. Learn about their ways. Again, this is part of dressing and keeping this planet, is dressing and keeping the animals in this planet. And we done heard way too many animal abuse stories, from this one to that one. Lord, man. Love your animals. Okay, I don't even know how else to say that. Right? Train your animals. Gosh, man. You go around these places, man, they got all that. Listen, and we understand because we again, You looking at certain things, and it's cool to have your dog off leash and all that kind of stuff. Don't you understand everybody else ain't there? So you better be careful now doing all this cutesy dude. How I train my dog. No, it's the same thing with the kids. See, we got to say it. We got to say it. There is a very uncanny, since I'm an X-Men fan, right? The uncanny X-Men, right? There's an uncanny, this new Thunderbolts movie gonna come out. It's the end of the phase that we've been in, family. So everybody will start to get a, you know, you get a fresh start, and we'll get Avengers movies and all those kinds of things. So hang on. I know. For some folks, they can't stand a lot of this stuff. Again, if you ain't watched Daredevil Born Again, go watch it, right? Go, please. That's your boy, that's your brother talking to you, man. Whew. Good show. Anyway, brings out a lot of stuff with life, right? When you talk about a crime element with Kingpin and Daredevil, oh yeah. Anyway, when we're talking about pets, man, and children, it's very ironic, okay? How we train our pets and how we train our children, man. We do not care about the way they are. That's number one. We care about what it's giving them. Oh, that's your dog. Oh, your dog is so nice. We don't ever do enough of the training. Same thing we do in our own bodies. We're talking about walking and all this kind of health. Come on, y'all. Look. Animals do some of the work, can do some of the worst harm when they're untrained, y'all, because they're just operating themselves. It's not like it's they're doing wrong. This is what they know to do. You got to know that, and you got to train them on that. No, you can't control every variable. Nobody's talking about controlling every variable. Come on. We got to put in more effort. That's all, y'all. It's cool to have Fifi and Rover and Roger and all the names we know. Again, y'all have heard my little dog Fiona on the track, man, right? But at the end of the day, man, there's a certain way we got, and it ain't no different than the kids, man. You see some of this mess. Oh, my child's dating this, that, and the other. Why'd you have these kids, man? Lord, help. Suffer not the little children to come unto me. We're supposed to introduce them to this life. See, when we say me, we thinking it's Jesus and it's Sunday school. Not realizing Sunday school was made so they could be good workers. I'm sorry, y'all. Again, we got to stop the cap. Stop the cap, right? We're not out here to preach popularity. That's silly. We're not out here to speak and teach. No. It ain't about popular. It's about impact. It's about impact. So yeah, just watch out for your pets, family. That's all we're saying. It's very telling on certain things, right? National Garden Month. Get out there and touch this earth, y'all. We always looking up in the sky, God coming back, manna coming from heaven, all the melody from hell. We do all the rain down on me, rain down. We do. We do all this mess. We won't look at what our feet is pound the pavement. It was one of them old school words, y'all. We gotta this is where we gotta be now. This is where we gotta be now. Ain't nothing changed. Now get used to I ain't got a green thumb, KJ. Okay, that's cool, man. That's all right. But we can learn this earth, man. Do what you can. Buy some potted plants and just water them every day, man. Get you something real basic, right? And it's cool to get you in a rhythm of things, right? Get your mind off of something else. A lot of these plants, man, they help with the air in your house. They help, they emit certain things, help with stress, right? Talking about stress awareness month, man. Get involved in this earth. We look weird. We look weird at our Wiccan brothers and sisters when they got plants everywhere. But see, again, they learned the thing. See, God caused the... The elements here in this earth, man, shine everywhere, okay? And by everywhere, I mean everywhere. We got to tap into it, family, right? Move More Month. And that's what we're going to, this is the last one we're going to stop on. We could have gotten to a whole lot of stuff. But again, we're already 30 some odd minutes in, and it ain't about taking up people's time. So, move more. I don't. Move more. This is for me, just as anybody else. Find a park and walk around that thing. Walk around in the elements, y'all. Right? Let Snoopy end off the thing here. Ba-doom. Yeah, move more, family, right? Move more, and as we move more, we see more in this life. We see a whole lot more in this life the more we keep moving. As we end here, we wanted to we're going to tie off something. We said we were going to talk about in the meantime. We had read in Luke chapter 12 about the meantime. It's talking about the chapter before Luke 12, which was a powerful chapter in and of itself, right? Excuse me. Talking about how precious humans are, right? As a matter of fact, it gets all the way in the verse which we'll touch on next time, talking about how not to worry, right? So we're going to break down some of these different things in the month here. Stress awareness, right? You got to let go of the worry and the anxiety. While anxiety, as we saw in the movie Inside Out 2, is very real, it's a combination of emotions and thought processes, and then we ain't doing the spiritual spooky ookity. We don't do that over here. That's not taken away from the spirit realm. We're talking about what humans, too many times we use it as a crutch for what we do not do here, what we refuse to do here, like helping out our brother and sister, encouraging ourselves on good health. I said encouraging ourselves on good health. That ain't eating like the white man. The black brother and sister, we got it wrong. Eating fish, eating chicken, having our vegetables. Man, we cook them collard greens. We cook. Man, we good cooks on them collard greens. It's time to start cooking them correctly, family. You put your spin on it. Yeah, we put our spin and our seasoning on it. We know. We already know. But you do it in a healthy way, right? It's just what it is. It's what it is, man. This is the thing, family. When y'all see your black brother and sister, man, they trying to literally reinvent themselves on a lot of different things because they've been given something from somebody else to hurt them and harm them. This is various. We're just talking about black folks, but man, it's happened all over the world, man. You look at your Latin brother and sister, same thing, cooking with a lot of fat. Now then again, because they lived in very dry, arid places, some of that's not always the case. Okay, with some of their food. And the more you start talking to your Latin brother and sister, the more you keep. That's another thing. We need talking about moving more. As you move more and you out there in these parts, you start running into people and you just start having conversations. Start having conversations with people opposite than you. There's a verse in the Bible here talking about, as we show love to people, it's real easy to show love to people that's similar than you. They like you. But can you do it to the people who are different than you? Can you do it to the people that are different than you? That's what we're gonna stop today, fam. We're gonna stop there. We're gonna leave it there. All right, we're gonna leave it there, family. We will get into some of these topics, some of these things next time, because I believe it's good to kind of break down some of the stuff here, and then we're gonna go from there and give some application and some real life stuff here, how we can implement some of these things in our lives, and we're just gonna go from there, right? So, family, thank you for walking this road with me today. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, right? And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.